Hey everyone, my name is Christina Del Rey. I am an astrologer, an ordained minister, and tarot card reader. On my channel, we talk about astrology, spirituality, and tarot. If you are interested, please subscribe below. Okay, so today we are going to talk about your forecast for April 26th, 2021. And I have to say that this week is all about the full moon. This is a very intense, very emotional, dramatic full moon. Okay, so let's take a moment to talk about what this full moon is all about. So we have Scorpio full moon. Scorpio rules death and rebirth and transformation. It also rules deep psychological stuff like wounds, very deep wounds, and it labels purging. Okay, so with the Scorpio moon, typically we need to purge something, but it's almost like it's extra here. It's extra powerful because we have all these big players in the sky aspecting this moon. So we have Uranus next to the sun, and that is in Taurus. Okay, so we have Uranus up there, we have the sun up there, we have Venus and Mercury all up there in Taurus. Now Taurus rules resources, money, earthly things. So now we have Uranus, which is like surprise and shake up, aspecting a moon that we are needing to purge something or transform something. So it's almost like it's going to be like quickly and maybe even unexpectedly, but something is going to transform, whether that be with money, or deep psychological stuff. It is going to be emotional. It's like a surprise shake up, possibly. I feel like there's going to be a quick purge. It's going to be emotional, intense. This is a triggering full moon. So, if your anger is triggered, you want to watch that. You want to be prepared for that. Not do anything crazy. We also have aspecting this moon Saturn, and kind of forming a T-square in the sky. So these are tense energies, and Saturn is like the rules that stop you from doing something or like delay you. So you're not going to like that because it's going to feel very frustrating, and Scorpio makes things rise to the surface, especially feelings. There could be like some kind of explosive time with this. This came to mind driving. I felt like driving was going to be an issue. So just be careful of road rage. It's not worth it. Try to remember that. I have to take my own advice, of course. But, whatever needs to go, you need to feel it. And it does hurt, but then you can let it go. So it's almost like you have to walk through the fire, to get to the other side. So try to think of this that way. And then we're going to talk about where it falls in your chart as well. But, Venus and Mercury being over there in Taurus too makes me think that there's you're going to hear something about either money, or you're going to hear something about your resources, or you're going to hear something about your relationships. It's going to be kind of a surprise. It's going to shake up the resources. You're going to have to purge something. So it kind of all goes together. But on top of all of that, we have Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, going to station retrograde. And when a planet stations retrograde in the sky, it's even more powerful. And what is Pluto? Pluto is destruction and then rebirth upon that destruction. So, building upon that destruction. So whatever has to go is going to feel really powerful right now. You're not going to miss this. I don't think anybody is really going to miss this, but if your chart is triggered, you'll feel it more than others. Okay, so I'm going to go through each sign and let you know where it falls in the chart and what you need to look out for. Okay, Aries, so this week you have the full moon happening on the 26th, and Pluto is stationing direct on the 27th. So for you, this is happening in a part of the chart that has to do with resources, financial resources. It also has to do with deep psychological stuff. So this could be a lot going on in the psyche, very emotional. You may need to release something. There could be something that you're holding on to, maybe like a childhood wound, something from a past life, but there's something here, and it says, it has to be released. And this could be any kind of joint funds that you own, that you have with somebody, like maybe, I don't know, like, your partner's funds, or like child support, or there's some kind of culmination here. And Pluto is stationing direct in your area of status, and it's also your career area. So I'm not sure what you're letting go here, but there's something very powerful here in this area. And it's also aspecting Saturn, so it's squaring Saturn. So it's likely that rules kind of come down and force you in some way to release this. And Saturn is in your 11th house. The 11th house has to do with hopes, wishes, and dreams. So maybe you are letting go of a hope, wish, and dream that you once had, and now you're clearing space for the new. You're purging maybe some kind of money you were getting from a group that you belong to, or maybe you are purging that group that you belong to. But the axis here has to do with money, and it can be money that you earn from your from what you do as well. So it's almost like you get like a surprise communication there, and then you realize that you kind of have to purge this, or maybe could even be like a memory of some kind, but you have to purge it in order to move on and create in your life, because Saturn is opposite the 5th house. So it's almost like you have new inspiration, but you have to clear out the old before you can tap into that new inspiration. Full moon has to do with, in this area too, has to do with like psychic abilities, or, tarot card, or studying the occult in some way. So, maybe you are, learning about that, and you're finally integrating it into your life, and you're relieving that. It does seem like there is some kind of culmination. A full moon is a culmination, or it's a high point, or an emotional point, and it has to do with something almost otherworldly. It could be with finances, but it's really not something that you're in full control over. It's almost like you're forced to do it, but once you do it, it's like clearing the way for you. Okay. And there are lots of changes going on in your career area, and in 2023 you will see that you are going to have like a whole new friendship group too, like the people that you hang out with, or groups you belong to. That's going to change completely in 2023, 2024. So that is upcoming for you as well. So try to look at this full moon as clearing the way for a better path for you later. Thank you, Aries. Okay, so Taurus, this full moon happens for you in an area of the sky that has to do with relationships. So there is likely going to be a culmination between you and a romantic partner, or it could be a business partner as well. This could include the sun is in your 1st house, and there just could be a culmination with you and another person. Maybe an ending to a relationship, maybe not, maybe just an ending to like a cycle. But it is likely that you're going to have words with this person. It's likely that it's likely that it's going to be that you have some kind of emotional conversation with this person. It comes to a fruition or an end point, or maybe you guys talk about something and then you like move past it. Saturn in your 10th house, that has to do with your status. So it's almost like you have to go back to the rules. You have to follow the rules. You have to come up with what the rules are going to be. But it's almost like, you have to have this conversation so that you can purge whatever is not working in either your your work partnership, which that could be too. You could be saying goodbye to a work partner, business partnership, or something could be changing in a business partnership, or this could be a romantic relationship as well. So some kind of cycle could be changing there. Pluto is going retrograde in your legal area, philosophy, broadcasting, journalism area. So you might be, rethinking power. There might be something intense in this area if you're involved in legal matters. Kind of heighten at this point. There is going to be some kind of, I do get like power plays just looking at this. So if somebody is trying to assert their power over you, of course you want to keep your power, but you don't want to give your power away in anger. So, you need to be a little bit more strategic, especially if, legal matters are involved. And just be careful with Saturn and Pluto up there of authority figures, police, bosses, that type of thing. You don't want this to be like, a boss, telling you, something and that frustrating you, and then you're going off on that person. So you just kind of want to take a deep breath and, think before you speak in this sense. And there could be anger involved as well. So you just want to be really careful with that. And, it's likely that you might even have to kind of tell somebody else something. Maybe you have to tell the business partner that you're letting them go. Maybe you have to be the boss that kind of lets them know that this isn't working anymore. Or maybe you're the one that has to kind of tell them, a romantic partnership, that it's over. So, intense week, very, very intense week. What are you going to purge in that 7th house? What are you going to purge in that relationship area? Let me know in the comments below. Gemini. So Gemini, this full moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with health and well-being. It also has to do with your day-to-day work environment, and also any coworkers that you work with. So, I could see maybe there being a moment of intensity with a coworker, perhaps, or kind of coming to trigger you in the work area. Maybe something that needs to be purged. Maybe it's a bad health regimen. Maybe it is a coworker themselves. Maybe it's something bad in your routine that needs to go. But it is likely that it's come to a fruition. It's done. It needs to go. Uranus is in the 12th house for you, along with the sun. So, we're talking about mental health here. We're talking about maybe even getting messages from the other side, because this is the house that connects to the other side. So even like in the dream space, you could be getting messages about what needs to go. Uranus is also technology, so you could be doing, you could have a moment with some kind of technology in the work area. I would be really careful right now of sending emails, or, maybe sending an email to the wrong person kind of comes to mind when I look at this. Just be really careful about that kind of stuff. Saturn is in the legal area of your chart. So it is likely that maybe something is holding up, something that you need to make progress on. and you might have to scrap it. It is Pluto that is in your 8th house of joint resources, so that could be changing too. There could be big changes there as well. So let me know in the comments below what you think that you're going to be purging. And with Uranus there, it can be quick too. It might just be a moment, fast changes, and then everything's different, If you get angry, Pluto is intense, deep wounds. And, you don't want to do anything too impulsive. Gemini is known for their impulsivity. But that 6th house, something has to change in that house. So, and with the Sun and Venus and Mercury, all up in that 12th house, it's almost like it's behind the scenes, and it could be it could be a relationship. It could be like you hearing something about someone. It could be something that was hidden that you didn't see before too, like kind of a secret coming out, because full moons have to do with secrets. And then we have Venus and Mercury, so I would just watch all those things really for you, and let me know in the comments below what you think you're gonna have to purge. Have a great week. Hello, Cancer. So this full moon is happening in a part of the sky for you that has to do with creative projects, romantic partners, and it also has to do with children that you have or children that you want. So there is likely some kind of, culmination, some kind of ending in this area. This could be an ending of something in your child's life. This could be the ending of, maybe wanting children. This could be, I suppose that this could spark a pregnancy as well. So, be careful of that if you're not looking to do that. And this can also be actually ending a cycle or ending a relationship as well. So, it's almost like what has happened in the past has, hit its peak, and it's not going to serve anymore, and it needs to go. And it could be, it could be related to a child in your life too, because, your relationship, if you have children, that could affect them as well. So it could kind of affect both. But there's something that needs to change in this area if you are working heavily on creative projects. There might be a project you're releasing. There might be something that you're really changing about the project. You're kind of revamping it maybe, and you're kind of frustrated about it. This is likely to involve a business partnership. Pluto is stationing in that area of romantic partnerships and business partnerships. So it's like a point you get to where you're like, something has to change in this relationship. We cannot go any further. So that is likely, and the reason that is happening is so it can clear out to bring in the new. So, while painful, and this is not a comfy, nice moon, this is like a purge moon. And even if you're not purging a relationship per se, you might be purging a cycle in a relationship that you once had. And you're like, you know what, it's gone. But at the time, it could be very explosive, it could be very emotional, it could be intense. The wounds could come up from the past. That's possible as well. You could hear something from a friend, and that might make you decide, nope, you know what, this has got to go. So, it's possible. With Uranus there, changes come very quickly. Saturn is frustration, so intimacy, maybe the intimacy isn't there that you want, and you're just like, you know what, nope, I need something else in my life. And Saturn is delays, but it's never denials. So if you are looking for something in the area of deep intimacy, then you're going to have to kind of work for it. Saturn says you have to follow the rules. You have to this could be like Saturn in this part of the sky for you too is getting into deep therapy or getting to the heart of the wounds that maybe led to this ending, or like just deep psychological stuff. Good time for therapy, maybe even like you can make progress in therapy now. Something can come to like it rises to the surface, and maybe you realize that you have to follow the rules. You have to purge this so that you can move forward with your life. I'm very curious how this is affecting you, so let me know in the comments, what are you purging? And like I said, this does connect to friendships and groups you belong to, where something might be going on there, and then leads to the purging of either the romantic piece or the creative piece. All right, thank you, Cancer. Okay, Leo. So this week we have the full moon in Scorpio happening in a part of the sky for us that has to do with family, also real estate. So this is highly emotional, triggered full moon, and it is likely that we will be hearing a piece of news or information that that directly influences our family or real estate. And this full moon is about purging. So it is possible that there could be a purge within the home, or there could be a purge of the home. It is possible for either or. And Saturn is in your house of partnerships, so it is likely that there is some kind of stress coming from a business partnership or from a romantic partnership as well. Pluto is going retrograde in your area of the sixth house, which is work. So, and health routines. So it's possible that daily routines are changing. This is a good time to focus on your health, to focus on transforming your health, any kind of daily routine that you have. And we also have, Uranus here. So this information could come very quickly, and the purging could happen very fast. This could bring up emotional triggers. The fourth house has to do with family karma. So it is likely that, and it also has to do with mom as well. So there could be some tensions with mom or mother figure here. It also has to do with past life, family stuff that you might be dealing with. Maybe you're ending a karmic cycle in your family. And Saturn is really putting the brakes on, relationships at the moment. It's saying that you have to follow the rules in relationships. And Taurus is resources, and this is in your status area. So this is a kind of a big deal because this is an important axis for us, Leos. So there's likely to be a shakeup of resources, money, related to the status. Could have to do with the purge of the home or the purge of the family, but it is likely to be stressful. And, anger can be triggered with this. It is, important to understand that, wounds will come up. Buried emotions may come up now, could be explosive, so you want to watch and make sure that you don't overreact, to take my own advice, right? Could be very deeply emotional around the family, purging something or someone within the family, because it no longer works, or, those dynamics do not work anymore. And it is no longer, when you hang on to something that doesn't work anymore, it becomes toxic. So, and Scorpio is about purging toxicity. So if there's something in the family area, or if there's something, within the home or the home itself, that has to be purged, then, that is what needs to happen. It's always easier if you don't fight it and if you go with what the universe is presenting in front of you. And that is our lesson. Leos, have a great week. Let me know in the comments what happens, please. Hello, Virgo. So this week we have the full moon happening in the 3rd house for you. So this has to do with thoughts, communications. It has to do with like your neighborhood, siblings, cousins, and it could even have to do with the internet as well. And opposite for you is higher education matters, legal matters, philosophies, and there could be some kind of culmination in your neighborhood in a matter that has to do with higher education. Maybe some kind of message comes down and it has to do with the internet. It does seem to have to do with your day-to-day work, though. It does seem to have, with your everyday work. It does seem like maybe that you're working really hard right now. Saturn is in that 6th house, so you have to be very disciplined on your daily routine. You have to be very disciplined on your body and how you're taking care of your body. Also, your health regimens. Pluto in the 5th house is saying that there's change within either a creative project, like maybe transformation. There's change within your child, if you have a child, most likely the oldest. And there is a change, maybe even in a creative project or a romantic area. But the full moon is saying that something has to end or transform. Something has to be purged. It might be emotional. So this could have to do with, like I said, communication. A communication comes to you from either a legal standpoint or higher education or, on the internet too, because 9th house, I'm thinking like, overseas or something. So maybe that could be like from the internet, from far away, but you hear it on the internet or something. Could be about travel too. Maybe you get a communication about that. But all these areas seem to be affected right now in your life. It may trigger you to get very angry and say something to somebody, perhaps a coworker. So you might want to take a couple deep breaths before you do that, because this is a triggering moon and it could be very explosive. So especially if it's a boss or some kind of superior, because Saturn is involved, you want to make sure that you are, taking that deep breath, because you might not like the result of the communication. Let me know what happens in the comments where you think that you need to make a purge. All right, Virgo. Have a great week. Hello, Libra. So this week, the full moon takes place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with resources, money, and self-esteem. So there is likely something that you need to purge in this area. It is a stressful full moon, so there could be some stress on finances. There could be some information that comes to you that stresses your finances. This can also be like purging of some kind of values that you once had and now you know that they don't work for you anymore. This also, Saturn is in the house of relationships for you, like romantic partnerships. So it could be that somebody is, putting maybe like some rules on your values or some rules on your money that, really is not what you want. So this could trigger you. Things do seem to be changing in the home area because Pluto does station retrograde there. So the need for transformation in the 4th house, which is home, family, real estate. So there could be some transformations going on there. This is an explosive full moon. So, it could have to do with you maybe getting angry and perhaps having words with a romantic partner. This could be you. This could even be like you getting a message from a dream that you have, or this could be a message from an investment that you hear something about this investment and it's no longer working for you. I would be careful about money in the stock market, or I would say, anything that has to do with joint finances. You would just want to kind of watch that, be on the watch for that. Anything that, any kind of money that comes from another source, or perhaps even your romantic partner's income might change. There just seems to be something stressful in that area. On the other hand, too, you could make some strides in therapy where, you know that you need to maybe have better values or spend your money better. So you're going to purge those habits. That is also something that could come up here as well. And I think like this might set you on the course to perhaps think about people that you associate with, because 11th house is opposite Saturn. So, maybe you are going to, perhaps you're going to associate with better people, or, higher vibrational people. And, that is going to help you with your values or your money situation. Okay, Libra, let me know what you are purging or what you think you need to purge in the comments below. Hello, Scorpio. So we have the full moon. This is your full moon in your first house. So there is a culmination about you, or how people see you, or how you look. And that's very deep and emotional. So there could be big changes about you right now. This is likely tied to, this is tied to the home area. There might be rules on your home that you have to follow and that are not making you happy at all. They're kind of emotional. This could also have to do with mom, something kind of restricting you in the home. And opposite this full moon in your relationship house is Sun, Uranus, Mercury, and Venus. So it is likely that maybe a romantic partnership is triggering you emotionally. It is possible that, they say something that makes you kind of explode. It's always a possibility. It could be a business partnership as well, but most likely it is attached to the home. So if you know that this is coming up, you might want to not be at home so much, or, kind of carve out some space for yourself to relax in. Pluto is going to station retrograde in that third house. So, siblings, cousins, neighbors, there's likely to be some kind of intensity with that, or even like thoughts, because third house is thoughts as well. Now, Saturn in that house, in your home of house and real estate, just kind of means that you're restricted now and you feel like a little bit trapped. But it is there. It's saying, Saturn is denials, or not denials. It's delays, not denials. So whatever work you put into the home, or whatever work you put into the family, does pay off down the road. I think that with Uranus being in that 7th house, somebody could say something to you very quickly that could trigger you, and something maybe that you weren't expecting. Could be about money. It could be about the home, money in the home. What you can do to help yourself is maybe take actions in the home that are going to comfort you, or even get out of the home for a little while, just so that you are not so triggered. 9th house is where Mars is, so This could be studying higher education. This could be maybe, taking, getting a lawyer of some kind, maybe for real estate matter. This could be changing your philosophies on something. So, or this could be even like, planning a trip too. Maybe you really just need to get away from your home, so you're going to plan a trip. But there's likely something to culminate on, your body or how you are seen, possibly some words that trigger you as well. Well, let me know what you think you need to purge in the comments below, or let me know what happens, even better. And it will be an interesting week. Hello, Sagittarius. So this week the full moon is in your 12th house. The 12th house has to do with behind the scenes. It also has to do with institutions such as hospitals, prisons. It also has to do with meditation, prayer, and your connection to the other side. So it could be likely that you get a message in a dream from the other side. So pay attention to that, because there's likely to be a communication of something from the other side. This can also be a full moon here too, could kind of catch you off guard. There could be like a hidden enemy that you didn't know about, and something happens and now you're realizing, that this person wasn't the person you thought they were, and and it could be somebody at work too. Like you could get a communication and you realize something shady was going on, maybe at work. So just, stay open. You might feel super psychic with a full moon in this part of the chart. And it's aspecting Saturn as well. So that's the 3rd house, which has to do with thoughts, communications, siblings, cousins, neighbors, and even the internet. Just, be aware of, be careful of putting anything out there that you don't want out there on the internet. Also, Pluto is stationing in your 2nd house of values and income. So it is likely that there are transformations there. Especially with Pluto stationing retrograde, it's strongest in the sky. Pluto is, re-imaging, making your income totally transformed and making your values totally transformed. And when it goes retrograde and it stations in the sky, it becomes the strongest. So you will probably feel that. And it might be, that you get that communication in a dream, perhaps. So make sure you write down your dreams, analyze your dreams. They're important messages for you. There's a lot of activity going on this week in your day-to-day work and in your health regimen area. So you might want to, maybe you get a message or something about, maybe you could get a message about a test or something that you went for, and then you have to be more strict with your diet or something like that. Maybe it was like some kind of medical test or something, and then you hear about it and you're like, oh boy, I really have to kind of tighten up, and maybe that makes you feel a certain type of way, can be emotional. So it could be a variety of things, but it does look like, you have to change maybe the way you're thinking, maybe the way that you are interacting with people, maybe the way that you are, maybe your day-to-day communications at work, or maybe even just the way you're thinking. Maybe you just need to transform how you're thinking and what your values are. But something is going to come up that you need to purge, and it might be more emotional than anything. It might be more, something's bothering you, but you can't quite figure out what it is, because it's that 12th house and it has to do with karmic endings. So there's likely, if there's something ending now, it is likely karmic. Okay, so Sagittarius, let me know in the comments, what are you purging? How is this affecting you? It should be an interesting week. Hello, Capricorn. So this week the full moon falls into the area of the 11th house for you, and that has to do with friends and groups that you belong to. It also has to do with your hopes, wishes, and dreams too. So hopefully something is coming to a fulfillment here, but it could be, because this is a stressful full moon, it could be that you hear something about a creative project and it kind of maybe ends some kind of group that you are in. It's possible, or it could just end a cycle that you are in with a group. But usually the 11th house is the groups and our friends, so friendships are definitely affected here. There could be a boiling point with somebody. Maybe somebody says something to you and you kind of go off on this person. Definitely possible at this point. You have to remember Saturn is your area of values right now, so you have to remember what your values are. This also has to do with money too, so this would not be the time to lend money to a friend. This could actually possibly be the worst thing you could do. Maybe you're looking for that money and the person does not have it, so maybe you kind of go off on them for that. That's always possible too. Maybe friends are asking for money and you don't have it, but there's something that you have to change here, where you maybe are giving too much and now you've had enough. This could be with a romantic partner as well. And it could even be with children too, because the 11th house is opposite children, and maybe one of your children says something to you. Mercury and Venus are there that maybe really sets you off. It's very surprising. It sets you off and you're like, you know what? This is what you're doing. And maybe it even sparks a discussion about values, about money, about friends they hang out with. It's all possible right now. This is a very explosive full moon, so you might feel the tension with friends, with groups that you belong to. Pluto is still in your first house of how you appear to the world, of your health, your body, and when it goes retrograde, it becomes, it stations in the sky and it becomes very, very powerful. So you will feel this intensity in your body, most likely. So if you are transforming your body and following the rules to transform your body and following your values, this might just come to fruition at this point, but you will feel this, that you need to self-care with Pluto here. All right. Capricorn, let me know what you're purging. Are you purging friendships? Are you purging hopes, wishes, and dreams that you had once that maybe don't follow what you want any longer? What exactly are you purging? Let me know in the comments below. Hello, Aquarius. So this week the full moon happens in a part of the sky for you that has to do with your status. This can be your status as how we know you in the world. It could be your career status. It could be your status as husband, wife. It could be your status as brother, sister, uncle. But there is a culmination here. And this is a very important axis because it has to do with family, and because Uranus has been in the 4th house for a while now, there have been big shakeups within the family. So it is likely now that you are going to purge something that has to do with your status or how we know you in the world. This could be even career. You could be purging something with your career. You could be purging something with your job. And it is likely to come through a communication, perhaps about a home or about real estate, or from home or from your family. And it will probably come as a culmination in your status. So this is a purge of something about you. This is a purge of maybe your reputation, because 10th house is reputation as well. This could be you purging your career and starting a new career. And this is aspecting Saturn in your first house too. So it's like you have to follow new rules. You have to do things the right way so that you are seen as a person who follows rules. And it's likely that this will affect your relationships somehow. And what you need to do to help you with this is to be very regimented in your health, your day-to-day sequence of events. So, like when you get up in the morning, what you have for breakfast, and those sequence of events, you need to organize those. And perhaps, that is the foundation of you helping you purge bad habits or bad reputation or something that you're purging from your work. But it's almost like you have to put energy into something in your day-to-day to purge whatever's in that status so that you can move on. Because anytime we purge something, it's always so that something new can come in that is beneficial. And this is an explosive, triggering moon as well, so you just want to be careful that you are not, the 10th house is bosses as well, so you want to make sure that you're not triggered and, going off on a boss or something, because it is, the work areas are very triggered for you, even though this is status, this is also the work area. So, but it's also how people see you as well. And people, Saturn is in your first house, so people might be scrutinizing you or, looking at you and seeing what you're doing. And Pluto is going retrograde in your 12th house. So there are transformations, or it is likely that you will feel transformations behind the scenes or in your mental health, perhaps. Your mental health and how you think could come to the forefront and need transformation, and it's likely that you will feel that happen. And I think that whatever you purge is going to kind of come quickly. The information will come quickly, and it will set you on a better path. Okay, Aquarius, let me know in the comments what you are purging. Hello, Pisces. So this week, the full moon happens in a part of the sky for you that has to do with higher education. It has to do with legal matters and philosophies, broadcasting as well. And it is opposite the Sun, Uranus, Mercury, Venus, all in your 3rd house. So this could be communications. There's some kind of high point, or something is coming to a fruition. You probably have to purge something that has to do with higher education, legal matters, philosophies, maybe travel. 9th house rules like long distance travel, or maybe even something on the internet connected to that. Now Saturn is in your 12th house of behind the scenes, so the fact that it's aspecting Saturn could be something that you're sort of blind to, that kind of comes out of nowhere, that you didn't realize was there, because the 12th house tends to be a hidden place. And this is a triggering full moon. It could be that you get a message, maybe you get a letter, or you get a phone call, or you hear from a neighbor that something is going on. And this sparks you to, maybe you call a lawyer, or, you get a letter and it has to do with school, and, something about school that you have to do, that you didn't realize that you have to do. But there is a full moon there. Maybe some of you are graduating. That could be too with this. And maybe it's just stressful, maybe you have a ton of stuff to do and things are changing. Pluto is in your 11th house of friendships, groups you belong to, and also hopes, wishes, and dreams. So with Pluto being, stationing retrograde and feeling that transformation, maybe you're feeling that, things are changing. The groups of people I'm hanging out with, those are changing now. And it's very stressful. There is possibility that someone could say something in a higher education setting that could set you off now, and you might have words with them, so you want to be careful about that. Saturn is opposite your 6th house, so really, taking care of your health, your regimens, your day-to-day regimens, that's where your power is going to be. This is a very explosive full moon, so I'm very curious as to what transpires for you. What are you purging? What has to transform for you in that area, that 9th house area? Let me know below in the comments, and it should be an interesting week. Thank you, Pisces.